This afternoon on the marketplace, businesses face high operating costs as a result of upward fuel price adjustment and other tax implementation. We'll hear from some market traders in Accra who also say prices of foodstuff have started increasing. Also, transport consultant pushes for a marginal increase in transport fares after a meeting between government and stakeholders ended inconclusively over proposed margin of increase. Plus, a performance assessment card on Ghana's energy sector conducted by the Ghana Institute of Engineering shows that challenges regarding financing and infrastructure are the causes of recent power outages.
What was the cause of the doom? So, based on a study that we did, and we said that it was a financial problem and it was an infrastructure problem. Now, fortunately, the current government came in and they tried to solve the financial problem. But the other one, it's more robust problem, and it is why now it seems to me that the light is.
You stay with us for the details of all these stories coming up shortly after this break. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Charles Aitip. Transport consultant Cecil Gabra is pushing for a marginal increase in transport fares rather than what is being proposed. This was after a meeting between government and stakeholders to agree on the proposed 15% hike in fares ended without any agreement. Joy Business is learning that this was due to differences by the parties on the margin of increase. Cecil Gabra joins us via Zoom with more on this. Welcome to the program, sir. First off, what's your take on plans by transport operators to increase fares? If you could kindly unmute your microphone so we could hear you better. I'm afraid we're having challenges there, but we'll try and fix the line with Cecil Gabra. I think he's back on. Mr. Gabra, if you could kindly hear me once again, how do you respond to the recent, pressure being mounted by transport operators for an increase in fares?
Good afternoon again. I hope you can hear me now.
Loud and clear.
Okay, right. Well, I think it's just time to have a workable formula to be used at least twice a year to reduce the fuel increment issues. Right. This will also take care of future fluctuations of fuel prices. We all know the National Petroleum Authority has rescinded its decision to increase fuel with a margin of I think about 17 pesos that they mentioned, and it's now about 5 pesos. I feel they could do more than that, right? Because when fuel prices rises in our country, it becomes very, a very big issue. It can be a drag on the economy, impacting everything. Of course, most companies will not increase salaries due to the pandemic. I mean, we all know it is really difficult at this particular time to even pay your own salaries. 3 months, 6 months, most companies are still owing their staff. Their staff understand what is really going on. Government is suffering from bringing back the economy. I mean, it's all over, not even only Ghana, everywhere. To stand on its feet is a big problem because in our country, the sad news is that when fuel prices are increased, even by a peso, it affects everybody. Every issue is affected. And if you go to buy spare parts, the spare parts dealers will tell you that, look, fuel increment has affected them. However, some of them even have their old stock, but they do take advantage and then increase it. And this goes a long way to affect the ordinary person who is walking down the street. So I think even with the 5 pesos, fine, but the government should do something else to absorb this fuel increment. I mean, we all know we are suffering. I mean, it's all over the world that the crude oil price per barrel is still going up, but something must really be done. And I trust the government will cushion the economy by most probably looking at absorbing the increment, because this is not going to help us at all. It's going to affect businesses, and there's no pay rise. There's no pay rise in any situation. The situation is really difficult, as my good friend will say. It's becoming chaotic this very moment.
So you have painted to us the picture how dire situations are, not just in Ghana, but on the global market as well. Yesterday we saw this meeting end with, the 15% hike in fares not being approved. Of course, the Energy Ministry had to downplay that to about 8 pesos. And of course, they've maintained the current environment warrants the margin of increment. Do you agree to this particular import of concern?
Well, at the moment, it's a 50-50 concern. I mean, once the transport owners are also asking for an increment, government is also looking at not understanding. We should agree and then, get the economy moving. However, I am saying for a fact that if we come back and look at a situation where we have a formula for working this increment at least twice a year. So we'll not have any meetings, and I believe that the meetings, people are going to be paid allowances and so on. That is also affecting the economy. So we'll leave it like this, but let's get a formula in place.
All right, so you're calling for an adjustment in transport fares. By what margin are you looking at?
5% ideally is the best. For now, let's all consume it at this very moment.
Mr. Gabra, we're so grateful that he joined us. He's a transport consultant helping us understand his own professional take on matters regarding the fuel prices and its attendant effects on transport fares. Away from that, businesses in the country will have to brace themselves up for high operating costs in the coming months. Now, this is because of the upward adjustment in fuel prices and its effects on other cost elements. Though some business associations are tight-lipped about the increasing costs on their business operations, others are worried that they will struggle to pay business, to stay in business actually. Now, the prices of foodstuff are increasing due to the upward adjustment in fuel prices. Joy Business Nicholas Brown engaged some traders in Accra on the impact on their pockets, and he now reports.
Some oil marketing companies have, started adjusting their prices according to the new taxes that have been imposed on petroleum products. To this particular end, we are here at the Malam Atta market to find out from, traders on whether or not goods and services have been increased due to the increase in fuel prices.
De biya tu nyame mu de biya tu ne kura me ko fa lukuzi ya tu mu na me gusu kasa kasa me bi sa lukuzi nrade senti we me nton ni sei de biya tu ade ton 5 cedi ma ko ton 28 menyan 2 cedi no ni pa ko no so we sa ma ni rubber no so aka ho de biya tu ama se dwa no enkoye maye.
She's basically explaining, mentioning some of the goods that, their prices have gone up. She's saying that each and every day they increase the price of some of these, goods. So she's basically calling on the government to actually do something about it.
Yes, it affects all the goods and stuff. Normally, the money you used to go and buy the goods, now you have to increase. So every day you have to add another money to it. They are saying because of the virus, that's why the prices of our goods are increased.
Prices now are too much. Ukraine fuel prices now. Ama bibia kosoro. Nyameni Ukraine. Uko fani mana. U banso na beton kura unhuso. Affecting papa. Nyama kosoro too much. Nti abansho bi no nyamai.
She's basically indicating that when you look at the old stock that she has, increased the prices of the old stock that she has because, prices of fuel and other services have also been increased.
Today I will be kubia ya tutu nyamenu. Ebe okita ska okoto nimse okoto we ubenya crate pack be 10 obekono 5 pe na odi abefi. Odi be ba store. Nti mo nhye aban no nhye taxes no is too much yewu onhye no nte so no nye bibi mfa ho eno nti na yeto abama ano no onhye no nye bibi mfa ho na ye bre bibia akase ye humi aye humi ne pe na aka obetum aden why.
So, I mean, she's singing the same hymn from the same book. I mean, indicating that each and every day they are increasing prices of goods, the various taxes that the government have, introduced. I mean, she is stating that it's killing them. I mean, literally. So, pleading on the government to, one way or the other, come to their aid to reduce some of the imposition of these new taxes and the petroleum prices of the petroleum products.
Nicholas Brown interacting with some traders across some market centers on the recent hike in fuel prices. A total of 140 young entrepreneurs have qualified to receive investment support to fund their various businesses. Now, this is under the Innovation, Creativity and Entrepreneurship program by the MasterCard Foundation and the NBSSI. These entrepreneurs were selected from a business pitching program organized in the various regions of the country. The Greater Accra Regional Director of the NBSSI, Anthea Ohene, told Joy Business that these finalists are going to be supported with funding and market access.
Today is the grand finale. We have selected 20 out of the 125 to talk to investors. We have people around who are listening. We have bankers. We have some of our partners around listening to them, so that at the end of the day, the 10 that will be selected will be supported with business development services, will be supported with funding, will be supported to get access to markets. So that is the main objective of this. And we are seeing that, yes, the 20 people that we selected, the objective has been met. They are being able to express themselves. They are able to tell us more about their business ideas. And yes, there is still work to be done on them. So we will not leave them just here. We will continue to support them so their businesses get to where we want their businesses to go to.
So these bankers, investors you're talking about, are they already on standby or you are not going to get for them?
So that is what I'm saying. MBSI, we have partners. We have JICA, we have the MasterCard, we have other partners on board who are interested in supporting these young businesses, because the MasterCard Foundation Young Africa Works project aims at providing job opportunities for 39,000 youth within a period of 3 years. And so they are on board. That is their project. And so they want to give the funding to these young ones to build their business ideas. So they are right here with us today and they are listening. We have some banks on board. We have the EcoBank representative here, and then we have a JICA representative here, all of them listening to give the kind of support these young ones need.
You're still watching The Marketplace. A performance assessment card on Ghana's energy sector conducted by the Ghana Institute of Engineering shows that challenges regarding financing and infrastructure are the causes of recent power outages. The newly elected president of the institute has been speaking to me on this pressing matter and other issues concerning Ghana's engineering community.
When it comes to infrastructure, energy, roads, we want to do what we did before in 2018, 2019, just before then, we wrote a report card. Now, this was to give us the state of the infrastructure and the future look at it. And I was telling somebody that, in the report card, we actually said that this doom sorting that was there, we tried to explain what was the cause of the doom sort based on a study that we did, and we said that it was a financial problem and it was an infrastructure problem. Now, fortunately, the current government came in and they tried to solve the financial problem. But the other one, it's more robust problem, and it is why now it seems to me that the light is going off, because the aged network, and we also, if you do a sensitivity analysis of your power, if you shut down this one and that one for fault, you will see that already you get to a critical point. So we believe that what we did, and government took it seriously, we know that, but now we're going to do another one. And this one we're going to do is going to talk about the transport system, the road network, the power, the hospitals, the ports. We're going to look at the school infrastructure and everything, about 6 or 7 different areas. And what we intend to do is that at the end of the day, we want to develop a factual report that interrogates every one of these sectors. And then based on our professional opinion, advise government that this is what the state is, this is what you can do, and if you don't do, these are the consequences.
Okay. I believe you've come across Ghana's building code, because sections of it also encourages green financing, which, of course, based on reports from Greta, remains less than 1% in this country. In fact, Bloomberg recently described Ghana as, even Accra, as a jungle of a cement jungle in that nature. I want to find out from you, in a very frank mode, do you think our Marshall Plan is outdated as a country?
Let me say it this way. I think that as a country, we started very well. But over the last, say, 2 or 3 decades, I wouldn't say that we have a real plan that we are trying to achieve. If you look at the SDGs, for example, where we're supposed to go, our strategy is not very clear. Because when you have a strategy that will make you green, that will make you sustainable, that will create resilient systems, it should not be shelved in your books. It should be known by your professionals. Your professionals should know, and your people must talk about it. They must teach about it. They must practice it. I wouldn't say that that's what we're doing. But fortunately, now we have the Standards Authority. And as a professor in the university, I know that we've had discussions, they've come to have discussions with us about how we may support the research so that it will influence the standards that need to be developed, including all these sustainable solutions. Also, the institutional engineering has already initiated some conversation between the Engineering Council and GHIE and the Standards Authority, and it's all geared towards this. How may we evolve standards that will ensure that we are doing sustainable engineering and we are bringing good practices? We know that we may be far away, but this is no more rocket science. I think the systems are there. Some of them we are doing them, but we have not adequately documented them. So in this council year, one of the key things we're going to do, and we have set ourselves to do, is to come up with various reports, state of practice reports on various things. For example, if we talk about green buildings, what is the state of practice? How much of it have we done? What are the constraints? Why have we not done it? Who is doing it? And what are the opportunities? And some of this is not to say that we are going to do it, but as a professional institution that works more like an NGO, we can advocate, we can educate, we can prompt government, we can ensure that government policy gets an alternative. And that is what we stand for. So yes, we are poised to help Ghana. And this is not only for my tenure, no. This is something that we have discussed as an institution. So some of these things will be done by myself, Engineer Ayer is with us, and the President-elect is also with us. And we are looking at it as a continuum so that we can have a pipeline. Because it's important that in this country we do a lot of things, but we don't create pipelines. So one person does it, he exits, and then the best person goes in another direction. We want to create a pipeline, and because of that, in our retreat that is coming on next week, we have all these things laid out. We're going to deliberate on them and then come up with a medium-term strategy, how we may deliver them for the people of Ghana.
That's great. Let's now focus on the institution. So what exactly should members expect from your tenure?
Members can expect that they will see an institution that cares for them. So welfare. That's number one. Because our members complain that, what do we get by being members of the institution? We don't see that they care about us. So welfare is priority number one. We're going to make you know that we are there for you. At the branches, at the technical level, everything that concerns you will be our concern. We implemented a few years ago an online system, but we're going to take it to another level so that we may communicate with all our members more regularly, give them information, get their data, know what they are doing. We understand their challenges and their concerns, and then that's it. The next thing is professional practice. We want to have a system where members undergo some training, because we know that a lot of things, a lot is changing in the engineering field, and you cannot practice what you learned in school. So we're going to evolve a lot of CPDs, or continuous professional development courses. They will pay for it, but for younger people or people who may not be in good employment, we have a plan to make sure that some of our seniors, our past presidents, and those who can offer training at virtually no charge will offer training at the doorstep in the regions, not in Accra.
Whenever it comes to engineering, we do know that STEM is definitely the backbone of engineering. But in our part of the world, it's ridden with so much prejudices. So people see STEM as the crown of men. Women have no place when it comes to STEM education. We've seen it in families, in communities. We've reported as a media house on these issues. How are you picking this concern up, especially when you're a man in this male-dominated environment?
Yeah, thank you for that. And it's unfortunate that we have made women, who are about 51% of our population, look like they are not clever enough. But I can tell you for a fact that if you come to the College of Engineering and Civil Engineering Department, the classes that I teach in the last 3-4 years, the top students have always been ladies. But these ladies,
Ghana.
yes, in Kamikoma University of Science and Technology. I mean, my daughter is a civil engineer, and in her class, the first top 10, about 7 of them were ladies, and most of them got first class, and they are very good. And even in practice, you find a lot of very good ladies who are doing very good job. Unfortunately, they have specific challenges which require that they need to be encouraged, because sometimes there are barriers. And they need to be encouraged. We need to create an environment for them so that many more can choose STEM. We want to bring the training closer to our people, and we want to use some of our older generation people who are also available. They are very skilled, they've seen it all, and they are ready to share. We also want to ensure that every engineer that is in the system will choose GHIE as his registration agency and will be very ethical. So we're going to insist on ethics. And last but not the least, we are going to ensure that engineers are paid well. So we're going to advocate for, because you see, you cannot make people professional, ethical, and all of that, and forget about their salary.
They're not paid well?
I would say that a lot of engineers can be paid better than what they are receiving, because you see, I told you that without regulation, anybody was an engineer, and therefore they will tell you, if you go, we'll get another one. But now that we are emphasizing on professionalism, license, you can actually be sent to court for not having a license. And therefore, if we get the right people who are trained to do the work, and we weed out the quacks, then definitely those who are doing the work, because they will bring more value. And it is just fair. The Bible says that for every labor, there is profit. It means if I increase my value, it is just normal that if I help you to make more profit, you can share your profit with me. So you can give me a little more. So if maybe you are paying me X, and you can give me 1.5X. I'm not taking all the money, I'm just taking a little more, just as an appreciation for being a good engineer. And I think that would not be too much.
Interacting with me on everything regarding the engineering community. That's how we end Marketplace as well. My name is Charles Aite. For more business news, do log on to myjoyonline.com/business. In the meantime, we're grateful that you joined us, and do enjoy the rest of our programs. Good afternoon.